Welcome back to Factory Sealed, everyone. It's sometime a long time after our last show. Hold on.
I hope we still have fans. I hope people still are interested in listening to
Aaron,
us.
don't get ahead of me. I've got Windows 8, and I can't find out where the goddamn clock is.
I don't even think we
There
ever
it
had
is.
fans. Like, let's be honest.
It
We had people that
is-
pitied us.
It's 7:57 p.m. Central Standard Time
No,
on
it's-
September 25th, Wednesday.
Who introduces the time on a podcast like that? What is this, NPR?
I listen to a lot of NPR.
I
Shut
can
up.
tell.
You would. You really, really would.
Does anybody have any idea when our last show was? Because I feel like if we have
Well, we did
any
Doom.
remaining fans,
We did
Well,
Doom.
Yeah, you did Doom without me, and you threw me under the bus a lot.
Yeah, we did.
Like, Aaron's not here. Let's just throw him under
wait.
the bus.
So Doom was that just you and I, Jess?
And Kevin.
Oh, it was
yeah.
Kev. What day was that? Hold on, I'm clicking through to the Mana Tank. That, oh my goodness, that was July 4th.
Yeah.
It's been almost 4 months. A little bit of a hiatus.
Oops.
He is right. I don't know. It's been kind of nice to kick back and not really have to worry about doing the show. Because in the same vein, we also stopped the Mana Tank podcast, and that was only supposed to be a temporary stoppage. I was going for a different word because I already used hiatus, so I'm going to go with stoppage or cessation. If you want to get pharmacological on this,
A break.
Sure.
did
we're
you
doing
just turn
that.
break into 2 syllables? Break.
Break.
That's not right. So, no, we ended Mana Tank podcast, and that, unfortunately, doesn't look like it's coming back in its previous form anytime soon. But we've all been busy. I think that just is ultimately what it boils down to, is we've been
It came
super
to
busy.
summertime fun and summertime busyness.
You can't,
how
Aaron, you
many
can't really
fun
even
this
talk because you didn't even go to E3 this year.
I didn't because you didn't give me my ticket like you said you were going to be able to get for me.
Did I
And
say
you're
I
like,
was going to?
Yeah, you did.
I
I
got one
heard
for
it.
Kevin.
Yeah, you got one for Kevin and not me.
Because you were still riding the GameStop gravy train.
Well, the GameStop gravy train did not give out tickets this year because of the whole console announcements.
Really?
Yeah, that's why none of the store managers got to go this year, because they needed to be in stores to take reserves on the new consoles.
And
Yeah.
how many
That's a
reserves
lot
did
of
you
BS.
take?
Initially or total? 'Cause so far, I think we're up to 17 Xbox Ones and like 90 PS4s.
Yeah. That's the general consensus across the board, is that PS4 is going to take it.
Yeah.
So we'll save that for a later segment. But what have you guys been up to? It's been 4 months. Like, this is actually the first time we've actually gotten together and talked since that last show. So
I know.
it's been
Yeah.
4 months of anticipation.
Well, I feel like you have the major announcement being 4 months is the big number right now.
I feel like I made that announcement already.
Not on the show.
Didn't I make it on the Doom show? Because we knew
No.
at that point.
No. You did
You
not.
didn't tell us?
Yeah, you didn't tell us. You're keeping it to yourself.
We
My
knew
heart
at
is
that point.
broken.
You literally just talked about it on F-Box about, 2
Yeah,
months ago,
that's
maybe?
how I found out
A
was-
month and a half ago?
Was on the
F-box?
Facebox.
Yeah, the F-Box. Yeah, the Facebooks.
Oh. I think you're the only one in the entire population of the planet that calls it F-Box.
Yeah, it's the F-Box.
No, so
So do we need like a
It's
drum
like a soapbox,
roll?
but you just fuck around on it all the time. That's pretty much what it is. It's the
oh, and stalk
You're
people.
such an old man.
Yeah, you are old. What are you, like 40?
No, I'm not quite 35.
Whew, getting up there. So, no, I don't know. Some people may see this as good news. Some people may see it as bad news. But
I see it as no more podcasts. That's what I see it as.
I will be really
Oh,
upset.
No, it'll totally mean more podcast. It's just going to be instead
That'll be
of
your escape.
instead of me being interrupted, or instead of me being interrupted by a dog like you, it'll be me
Yeah.
being interrupted by a screaming toddler, and I have to go change a diaper.
Right.
But
So
I will
we'll
not.
both have a.
I won't break stride. I promise. I will be mid-conversation, slapping diapers together, and you'll never know.
Yes, that's right, everybody. Eric Peterson is going to have to start wearing Depends. He's an old man now.
I can't
There's
control
some bowel
my
issues happening.
Yeah, I can't control my incontinence, and I'm too poor to get surgery.
Right. Or you could actually just say,
America.
or you could just actually come out and say it, so I don't have to come out and say it.
What do you want me to say? Are you saying our listeners are dumb and can't deduce that I'm
pretty
be
sure
a
they
dad?
can, but you could say, yeah, I'm going to be a dad. There
That's
you go.
weird.
Congratulations. Thank you.
It is weird.
Now the whole.
You're going to be a dad.
Yeah.
I am.
Now here's my question, because you're going to be a dad.
Uh-huh.
Is how cool is your mom or your dad's mom? Because with you as a dad, that kid's going to have no friends, and they're going to have to buy them video games just so he can make friends.
Well, here's the thing.
That's the cycle.
Here's the thing. My family, like as a whole, my family is still pretty young. So my grandma that bought me all of my video games is just barely 70. And she doesn't look a day over 55. So she's going to be...
We love her.
Yeah, she's going to be around and
she's
kicking
awesome.
for a long time. And she's already made it abundantly clear that she's going to spoil this child. So I won't have to worry about that. Plus, and this, I think maybe part of my mental state growing up and why I was such a video game hoarder was building up to about 6 years from now when I introduced my kid to video games. And then before they get to the current shit, you got to work through this whole 40-year backlog of stuff.
That's right.
You got to play every Final Fantasy. You have to play through pretty much every Final Fantasy, all the Mega Mans, and then you can play the next games.
That's right. Now, going on that, my daughter, in her room right now, she has hooked up to her TV the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, PlayStation 1, and a PlayStation 2.
And she's probably writing to all of her friends, "Oh my God, my dad's such a dork. Look at all the shit he has hooked up to my TV."
You know what my daughter said?
Into
You know what my daughter
Smurfs, and
said?
it's freaking me out.
When I hooked up the Super Nintendo and we tried playing some games on there, she goes, "This is how a controller should be."
Didn't you post that on Facebook or something?
I did. I was pretty proud of that. She's like, "Yeah, exactly right. This is the way a controller should be."
Maybe she was just trying to score kudo points with you so you could open up your wallet and give her a couple 20s.
I don't know, man. We had some fun playing some Mario Karts. And,
How old is she?
She's 14. Matt Ead, stay away still.
That was his first question. Is she hot?
That's amazing.
God.
Yeah. So that was really cool. So I have that, and I just found access to a friend of mine that became good friends with over the summer, and he actually has a nice garage set up, and he has a Sega Genesis out there. So now I have access to almost all three major retro consoles.
Over the summer, I had some time off, and I got a wild hair up my ass, and I wanted to get out my Sega Genesis.
Pardon?
A wild,
I've never heard that expression before.
a wild hair up my ass.
Is that actually a thing?
I don't know.
say
My
that?
dad would always say it. Isn't that's
Yeah,
not a
that's
common
not-
idiom?
That's an American idiom.
I feel like that might just be a Midwestern thing.
Could be.
Hair up your ass.
A
wild hair up your ass.
Yeah.
And it means to just get up and do something crazy. But I wanted to get out my Sega Genesis, and I have bins upon bins of old games and consoles and cords and controllers and shit. And I dug everything out, and I couldn't find the power cord for it, and I was just pissed off. And then I found my 32X. I'm like, this is going to be awesome, and I didn't have the power cord for that either. So I need to buy all my Sega Genesis crap, because there's some good stuff on there. Like, I found my original copy of Dune with the box and everything, and remembered how shit that game was.
All right.
That's it.
Yeah, and I got some. And about Sega, the next show, I got a surprise for everybody next show.
Is this going to be another one of the Aaron, I didn't play what I should have played, but played this instead type deals?
That'll happen every show.
Okay.
Just so you know. We got fans out there that look for that segment of the show, so I got to keep the streak alive.
The what the hell did Aaron play this week?
Yeah, it's what
Yeah,
the hell
like
did Aaron?
that.
What is Aaron going to bring up this week?
So
He's a crazy old man.
I have to ask. This is. We're just going to have an entire show of just random catching up crap. You are no longer with GameStop.
That is correct.
What happened? Please
Well,
tell me it was like some huge fallout and you punched some people in the face. You stole some stuff on the way out and then...
I heard that too, because he had a wild hair up his ass.
Yes.
Yeah. I got a wild hair up my ass one day. And I went to the GameStop, luncheon room, and I said, I want some poutine. And they're like, what the hell's poutine? And I just punched the guy in the face.
I like it. Did you jersey him too?
Oh, man. I almost curvied him up against the counter, but...
No, he didn't jersey because his shirt had fight clips. Couldn't pull his jersey up over the... I know what fight clips are, trust me. That's the only thing I know about hockey.
No, it happened. I just I got headhunted.
Oh, really?
By another company.
Got snaked.
Yeah, and they made an offer, and
how did they headhunt
you? Couldn't refuse.
Well, what happens was that a GameStop employee works for the company now, and they were looking at expanding. They're like, well, I got this guy. I know this guy Aaron. He's probably pretty good. And then I went and interviewed and did really well. And so then they came back with an offer, and I just kind of took it because it's Monday through Friday, 7:30 to 4, compared to GameStop, which is 8 to 6 or 7, and then
random
weekends,
hours.
Holidays, and then the stress of getting calls all the time and not having time to play games for the show and
I'm
things
really
like that.
Excited that we were a huge factor in your job decision.
Yeah, we affected your life.
Yeah. I blame that Nick Stevens guy. I wasn't even able to follow his podcast the last couple of months because I was working so much, and I was like,
"What a jerk!"
He's been
bit
bopping around. He's doing quite a bit of different stuff.
He's doing pretty good stuff. But at GameStop Managers Conference I went to, and I did a lot of my thinking there. I was going to take the job, and even after they were going to give us a PS4 and an Xbox One, I chose to leave because it was just
I know.
Wait. You couldn't hold out until November, take your crap, and then leave?
No. The new company needed me sooner than that.
Actually,
did you ask for them to give you a PS4 and Xbox One to sweeten the deal?
Yeah. So, but yeah,
hopefully the pay raise is enough to offset the cost of you being able to buy both. But from the way it sounds, you're only going to want to buy one.
I'm probably going to buy one, and so we'll see what goes on there. But yeah, it's nice to have free time again. Yeah. And the biggest thing that I've noticed so far, because I've only been gone about a month, I think I left the week before GTA came out, so that Friday and then Monday GTA came out at midnight. So, but I've been working at this new job, and the nice thing what I've learned about the most is there's actually a world outside of that of that GameStop company, because I did that for so many years. And it's like anywhere you work. If you work there and you work your heart and soul and you're on salary, everybody can relate, no matter if it's Papa John's or a restaurant or GameStop, Best Buy, Walmart. When you're into that and you're having to manage all these people and then manage time and make sure this is happening and you're running, it's your life, and you don't look outside and go, oh man, there's actually this is just a small piece of the world here.
I felt that same way when I was doing store manager stuff, and I only did that for about 6 months to a year, and you're not kidding. It's you lose yourself in it, and I think once I left that job, I kind of developed that mindset that I still carry on to this day, is that I work to live, I don't live to work. So when I punch out at the end of the day, I don't take crap home with me, and I leave all my concerns at work, and I go home and I enjoy the night and come back to work the next day and just pick up right where I left off, and I'm not going to sit and obsess about it and take crap home. And
that's a huge...
to do work after this podcast.
What?
What?
I have to finish work after this podcast.
No, you don't.
See what I mean?
My life sucks.
That's why working from home blows.
That's why I'm drinking scotch right now.
There you go. Oh, bravo, Jess. What kind of scotch?
It is Glenfiddich Oak Cask.
That's pretty good stuff, I heard.
I got it in America, so it was cheaper.
Nice.
There you go.
I'd be more impressed if you were drinking bourbon, though.
Yeah.
Because bourbon...
I tried Maker's Mark.
Okay, Maker's Mark
I've ever had.
is like the Walmart of bourbon.
But Maker's Mark is
I just felt so
the same
American.
stuff that you got for the moonshine. That's exactly what you brought back from that distillery at E3 a couple of years ago.
It was pre-Maker's Mark bourbon.
Yeah.
Holy.
Yeah.
So I'm totally American.
Yeah, no.
I even went to a Costco that had a liquor store in it.
No, you Canadians need to stay out of our Costco's. Because
went
you
in-
ruin it for the rest of us.
Whatever. I had a Costco membership from Canada, and I went into Americaland, and they had Kirkland vodka,
Yeah, that's...
And-
that's the Costco brand vodka.
Kirkland beer. Like, it was crazy.
Gross.
So crazy.
You bought it all up, didn't you? Now you're just hammered all the time.
All the time.
Good old liquored up Jess.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heck, you don't have to be sober to teach online.
Psh, no.
Any typos you can
Drink
just
my
chalk up to that.
scotch out of a mug.
So,
Totally kidding.
so what's going on with you, Jess? Me and Eric have filled everybody in on what's
So-
new and fresh.
I just want to throw this out there that Eric and I are the same age. And while he's preparing to like bring life into this world, I totally got 2 kittens, which I think are way cooler than babies
Hey, I already
because
have cats.
they're cuter as kittens than babies are as babies.
Speaking
And they
of...
poop in a box. And
My
it's pretty
kids
awesome.
are going to poop in a box.
Okay.
It's cheaper than diapers.
I
You know,
actually like
that
that.
doesn't surprise me at all. given
You
that I
should
do, but
totally
I'm
litter
pretty sure
from your
Christie's is not
infants.
going to allow that.
She'll probably veto that real quick.
Yeah, real quick.
The baby poop box.
It would be so awesome. You should totally invent that.
Just set them in a box and just wait till they go. Or they could share it with the cats.
Done.
There
Done.
you go.
Speaking of babies, have you started my presents?
No,
Oh,
I am getting there.
okay. You got 5 months.
I know I have tests all next week, so I'm going to crochet while I'm invigilating
I
tests.
commissioned from Jess. Do you remember that Mega Man hat that she sent me, Aaron?
Yep, I remember
I
that.
commissioned from her 2 infant-sized Mega Man hats. One in Mega Man blue and then another one in pink and white because we're not going to find out. And then the first picture that I release to the world of our child is going to be wearing a Mega Man hat.
But I'm so, like, as soon as you said that, I was exactly thinking that I was going to do that. And I was like, no, I wanted it to be a surprise.
I won't leave anything like that up to fate.
True.
My
True
child
story.
is going to be embedded with Mega Man their entire life, boy or girl.
I love
My
it.
sister has already nicknamed Christy, or she's already nicknamed the baby Mega Man. So every time my sister calls, she's like, "Hey, how's Mega Man doing?"
I love it.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, and I call Christy my incubator, so she's Inky.
And how does she like that?
She doesn't mind. She's learned to deal with stuff like that because it's me.
I had a friend actually whose doctor called her, like, infant, her parasite, which was kind of funny.
That's true. It's leeching off the mom.
Yeah. I feel like I'm, like, really not doing anything with my life if everyone else is having babies.
No,
And we have kids.
don't fall victim to that.
Hey, I'm not having any babies.
You're done
Yes!
with your baby.
I have a baby.
Wait,
What if your babies had babies?
Then I'm going to beat some boy's ass is what's going to happen.
just think, Aaron, just think. Here's some perspective for you. In 4 years, your daughter will be 18.
Yeah.
So within the next 6 years, you could be a grandpa.
True story.
I could be, but somebody will die.
Why? If she's 18 and of legal consenting age, and she falls in love and gets married and has a baby at 19,
Who are you to say no to love?
If that's the case, then okay.
then
Look,
you're
man,
gonna be...
I'm like, you can just call me Dan. I'm a murderer of love, okay? When it comes.
what?
Your daughter is totally going to have a baby before we do. That's my new life goal.
Wait, who's
Your
we in that
new-
sentence?
The husband and I.
Husband.
I thought you guys were adopting.
Yeah, so before we pick out a child, we will adopt your daughter's baby.
I don't think you go... It's not like going to the dog
What the
kennel.
heck are you doing? God,
Yeah,
you
you do.
Canadians are weird.
Like, did you find some back alley dude in Toronto that says, "Hey, come here, I got some kids," and like he just
I got
lines
some
them up on the
kids.
wall and
Yeah, you can get them to fight so you can see who's the strongest.
man, that sounds
It's why
awful.
Canadians are awesome.
No, it doesn't. That sounds terrible.
Yeah.
Because what if the really good fighter is having an off day? Like he won 6 matches the day before and he's just trying to recoup, and then he's getting pitted up against the weakest of the bunch, and the weakest of the bunch just manages to win against the strongest kid the day that you're there. So then you in fact pick the worst of the bunch.
But the weakest one would have been like dead by then.
What if he's a new recruit? I feel like you need to put some more thought into this.
Whoever has heart. It's about the heart too, as much as the skill.
I don't think that's true, because when I was a kid, I wanted to be an astronaut. I had all the heart in the world, and it's just not in the cards. I am too stupid to ride a space shuttle into space. So don't give me that crap about if you want it, you can do it. Because that's the biggest fallacy in education right now.
In Canada land, we set them outside for the entire winter before they get adopted. So they're all pretty tough.
And whoever survives the winter is worthy.
Worthy to go on to the fights.
What do you guys do with the ones that don't survive? How did we get here?
Hot dogs. No, I'm totally kidding. That's for sure.
It started with you guys trying to tell me my daughter's going to get pregnant before Jess does or something. And she went all hardcore about
Don't eat Canadian hot dogs. That's just what I learned.
So bad.
Anyway, let's branch here a little bit. I haven't really, to be quite honest, I have not played a lot of games this summer. Actually, since we stopped Factory Sealed, or paused it, let's say, since we paused it, and then since we stopped Mana Tank, it's been kind of nice to just be able to disconnect and not feel like I have to play games. I played The Last of Us, I played the crap out of that, and then a few spotty games here and there, but there were like a couple weeks in there where I just didn't pick anything up and like actively play through it.
I totally cried in The Last of Us.
That game was so good.
And I'm still only about a half hour into that game.
Are you serious? How did you not play through the damn thing in a weekend?
Because I worked for GameStop and had a lot of crap to do.
Let me give you a piece of advice.
I had a lot of crap to do. I just didn't do it.
Let me give you a piece of advice for that game. Does your wife enjoy video games to the extent of like watching you play them?
She can, yeah.
Have her sit down and watch you play through that whole game. Christy and I did that. She would get mad if I was playing and she wasn't watching, so I'd have to restart. So we went through that whole game together, and it was actually really cool because it was something that we could talk about and we could share, and like she actually enjoyed it because of the story. So I think that's definitely one of those games you can play with your wife.
Andrew hated it.
Why?
I don't know. He just hated it.
He must not have a soul.
He doesn't.
So
he doesn't have a soul.
I feel like you two are a little behind the times, because one of the biggest, actually I'm going to say the biggest game of this generation came out last week, and neither of you played it.
No.
Mine is in a cellophane wrapper because I have yet to open it, because when I play it I want at least 3 to 4 hours of just being able to play it without doing anything.
But how could you get it home and just not put it in?
How could you just not unwrap it?
Because I bought it late at night and I didn't get a chance to put it in.
What's
up with the 5th degree, guys?
You can't tell me between last Tuesday and today you haven't had a couple hours of time to just play.
I haven't.
Bull crap.
Would you like to know what my week entailed?
Not really.
entailed.
Did it involve motorcycle accidents, escalator escapades, or?
By the way, I do have a new bike, and I have not crashed it once, and I'm enjoying it quite nicely.
Knock on wood.
Now, what I did this past weekend was I went overnight fishing.
That sounds like so much fun. You don't even know.
Oh yeah, I went out on Lake Pepin, and I was out there. We went out at 11 p.m. No, she's not. She's from Canada. They love fishing. And it's out there from 11 p.m. to 8:30 in the morning fishing. It was fantastic. Overnight.
Oh my god.
That sounds super dumb.
And then I slept pretty much all day. But the other problem is
11 p.m. until 6 a.m.?
It's 8:30 a.m. So 9 hours of lake fishing.
Sitting.
Was there booze involved?
No.
What?
Yeah, no booze. Sorry. Now, But now, here's the other thing, too, is I did have my daughter a lot, and it's not a game that I want to play in front of my daughter.
So this is something that I was thinking about. I'm glad you brought that up, because I was thinking back to the original Grand Theft Autos. And obviously, yes, games have expanded and become more graphic and more controversial since I was 13. But I remember when I was in 5th grade, I went over to a friend's house, and this is kind of right at the advent of computer games coming into the mainstream, and he was talking about some game called Grand Theft Auto, and no idea what the hell he was talking about. And I remember going in his room, and we were playing on the computer with the original Grand Theft Auto, and I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, yeah, that's kind of cool. And we played it a few times here and there between the next couple of years. But I vividly remember going to Best Buy when I was a sophomore in high school and buying Grand Theft Auto 3 because one of my friends said, this game is going to change gaming. And I remember him saying that. We were standing there looking at it, and it was a mature rated game. We were under 17. Nobody gave a shit checking IDs back then. And I'm like, the name sounds familiar, but I don't know the series. He's like, just buy it. This game is going to change the shape of games. And
was he in Glee Club with you?
No, he was not.
Oh.
Because I wasn't in Glee Club till my senior year. So this was 2 years prior. This is my gangster stage. No. But
you need to post pictures.
I remember playing GTA 3 for the first time and just being absolutely awestruck that this is an open world. I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and however I want. And it was to the point where I would sit at school and I would draw maps of the city and then just fantasize about going home, just driving around the city, fucking around. Like, I didn't care about the story at all. I just wanted to go home and like drive around and play the game. So every Grand Theft Auto since then for me has just been like this monumental throwback to that part of my life where like these are the types of games I enjoy. So I don't understand how you can just not play it.
Huh.
Yeah. I never got into the first Grand Theft Autos, though. Like, when Grand Theft Auto, 3 came out, and it was real big, and then, like, the Vice. I liked watching my friends play Vice City, but I just could not get into playing it. I did get into playing Grand Theft Auto 4 when it came out on the Xbox.
See, and
I enjoyed that one.
That's interesting, because 4 is universally regarded as the worst one in the series. I enjoyed it, but I lost interest in it because it was all in the city, and it was just too. I don't know. It felt like it was going in a different direction, and for some reason, that direction didn't feel right compared to what the previous games were. I mean,
okay.
you go from San Andreas, which is goofy as all shit, and kind of set the stage for Saints Row and what we have with Saints Row, and then you come to Grand Theft Auto 4, which is dark and gritty, and it's like a crime drama, and didn't really care about any of the main characters, and it just didn't do it for me.
Okay.
Rebuttal.
Okay is not a rebuttal.
Having a debate.
But
I missed something there. Sorry.
Did either of you play the original top-down ones?
I tried today, and that was hell.
What were you playing it on?
Well, first, I tried it on an emulator, and using my PlayStation controller was just the worst thing that I could possibly have done to myself.
Why?
So, I have a problem with directions.
That's right, because it's... So when you're coming down the screen, because it's top-down, when you're coming down, you want to press left, you actually go to the right, because it's based on the car.
Yes, which is stupid. So I literally spent about a good 5 minutes walking in circles until I was like, this is stupid. So then I went to our PC and played it there because my husband downloaded it. Mm-hmm. And I was playing GTA 2, and that was not as messy, but it wasn't doing much for me. I could see the potential.
GTA 2 was a huge step up, but I feel like GTA London is where things really took off, and like the series really hit its stride.
When they came out, though, it wasn't a title that interested me. Like, I wasn't into
Well, it was...
cars and, like, driving games or anything like that.
I'm going to send you guys a link. There was a 7 or 8 minute video that just came out. If you want to find it, it's on Kotaku, called The Story of How Grand Theft Auto Almost Didn't Happen. And it's fascinating because it goes back and you meet the original creators and developers of the game and how basically the whole thing took shape. And originally the game was super shitty, and for like 2 years, every week, the parent company wanted to axe it because they just saw it going absolutely nowhere. And for some reason, every week, the project just kept chugging along, and they started playing it like, this game sucks. It's just not fun at all. How can we make it more fun? And it's been a while since I watched a clip, but if I'm not mistaken, he said something about, it all just kind of happened on accident, where things just fell together, and it's like, you know what? I stole that car and I'm causing some chaos. Let's kind of build on this. And then they got together, and just shit kind of spider-webbed from there, and it turned into the series that it is. And I kind of wish I could go back and read some of the newspapers, because like this game was so controversial in its time that it made the front headlines of newspapers, which is really one of the first times that gaming had actually been pushed into the mainstream for controversial issues. And I guess kind of set the stage for whenever we see violence, we always associate it back to video games. And this is kind of one of those first situations where the news grabbed hold of it because of the concept behind this game. It was just steal and kill and murder cops.
Yeah, I remember a lot of the controversy surrounding it, but like, you had your thug phase. I definitely had a goth phase, so I really wasn't super interested in a lot of things.
Were you of the goth type that did the white face powder and...
Maybe.
No.
So embarrassing.
Do you really?
Like, I totally had white face powder. Absolutely.
Do you have
rock the like fishnets?
Do you have pictures on Facebox or the F-box?
Oh my god, we're all saying Facebox. I don't think I have any on Facebook.
I need to see that.
I'll have to
pull
add some pictures. It'll be quite interesting for everyone involved.
Oh my god. Aaron, did you ever play the original GTAs?
Like I said, I played. I watched somebody play 3. I've seen people play Vice City. Now, probably my favorite would be Vice City because I love the soundtrack in that game and just the look and the feel of the game. But when I tried to play it myself, I don't know if it was just the controls or whatever it was, or I didn't understand the concept of the game. I just couldn't get into them. And
How do you not understand the
concept
of kill anything and do whatever you want?
Well, probably because I didn't start it from the beginning. I just would pick up, they would say, here, play this. And then I would pick it up and play halfway through a mission, not knowing what I'm supposed to do or where I'm supposed to go. And, I can say that I think that when I went back to play it again after playing 4, I think the controls were just a lot more smoother in 4 than they were in the other ones.
Yeah, I suppose, but you kind of got to move your perspective back 10 years and be like, this is when this game came out, so this is what the standard for control was.
But I feel like the controls could have been better. Like, it was a little...
Oh, absolutely. They could have focused more on the targeting aspect and not having really shitty walking mechanisms, but...
Yeah, that would be awesome.
But then again, for its time, that game world was enormous, and just what the game was technically accomplishing was mind-blowing.
Right.
And just the simple fact you could drive all the way around that city and do whatever you wanted without any loading times. I think GTA 3 had loading times when you went across from one island to the next, but it was just a brief, quick load. And I think Vice City, I'm pretty sure there might be a short hiccup, but they either eliminated it or cut it down completely. But you're right. The soundtrack in Vice City was phenomenal, and that's kind of what introduced me to 80s music. And whenever Christy's a huge 80s music person, she just absolutely loves it. She's one of those people that the first 2 notes of a song, she can name it, artist, year it came out, who wrote it, all that crap. So whenever we hear an 80s song, I'm like, I remember driving around Grand Theft Auto Vice City and doing this. She's like, stop it, you're ruining this for me. So I associate all 80s music with GTA Vice City.
So
All right.
ridiculous.
I think you'll like... So 5 is actually going to be the first one in the series that you actually sink your teeth into.
For me, for sure, yeah. Wow. And I think I'm, like, I don't know if it's because I'm super stoked. Like, I love Saints Row. I had, like, a lot of fun with that. I was saying that my palate has developed.
It's interesting because Saints Row was obviously inspired by Grand Theft Auto. There's no denying that. But they took it... Saints Row 1 was almost a direct clone of the Grand Theft Auto series. It was a little goofier, but then Saints Row 2 got super goofy, and then they've just gone crazy from there. So they copied the model and then went goofy with it, where Grand Theft Auto always kind of was flirting on that line between realistic and kind of goofy. You know, they didn't take themselves too seriously, but then again, they didn't want to go overboard with being stupid. But I think if you really enjoy Saints Row, you might have a tough time with Grand Theft Auto because it isn't as silly and it isn't as out there. But GTA 5, the storytelling is hands down some of the best I've ever seen in video games. Just how they're able to weave those three characters together seamlessly, and just the gameplay itself is phenomenal.
But I do hate driving cars. Like, I hate it. When I was playing LA Noire, I just totally was like... No, I hated when they made you drive. I loved when you could make the other person drive you. And
I got something for you. GTA has a lot of driving.
I know, and that's what I'm super not looking forward to. Like in Saints Row, I just jumped everywhere and ran, and like, that was how I got around.
The title of the game refers to stealing cars.
I know, that's why I don't know how...
No.
But I was so mad that my plan fell through. Thought I was so smart, and it just fell apart. The plan, so that we have our allowance money that we give each other.
Oh, yeah.
With our finances.
You were going to make him buy it?
I was going to make him buy it, because we each have fun money, and I always buy all the games with my fun money, so... Andrew has like $1 gazillion saved up to do nothing because he's not fun because he doesn't have a soul. And
he doesn't have a soul.
We established that earlier. So I was like so pumped because I was not making a big deal about like GTA 5. I was like, I'm not super looking forward to it. Like, I don't know if I'll buy it. I'll probably wait for a while. It'll be okay, whatever. And then we went shopping the other day, and we went to Walmart, and they were still sold out of it, actually.
Really?
Yeah. And then I was like, so do you want to buy GTA 5? Because, like, we should pick that up soon. And he's like, no, I think I'm going to wait for it to, like, go down in price because I'm a big jerk, and I've completely ruined all of your plans. And so I was so mad at him because my plan was to get him to buy it so then I could play it. And then we decided that we were going to do Eric's plan and compromise and split the price, but he completely ruined it.
You should have just looked at him and said, you buy it or you're not getting sex tonight.
That doesn't work.
Yeah, they're married. It doesn't work.
Yeah, it doesn't work.
That's true. You're like, okay, fine. No different than any other night.
He's actually glaring at me right now.
You're a liar.
She's a liar. Hi, Andrew.
I'm surprised he responded to that, but not to the he doesn't have a soul comment.
No.
That's strange. Yeah. So you guys do the podcast with other people sitting around you?
No, I'm in the living room, so he was walking by in the hallway when he heard that I was talking shit about him.
So then he came in and glared at you.
Yeah.
Looks like you're not getting any tonight.
Marriage.
Kids, don't get married.
Do you do it like, are you isolated and like lock door?
Yeah.
Sock on the knob, don't come in?
Yeah. What?
I don't know what he just said.
That sounded scary. What does a sock on the knob mean in his world?
I know. I realized after I said it that sock on the knob could be construed as something that's not as PG as how I meant it. But sock on the doorknob.
The general the agreed upon article of clothing is the tie.
I'm sorry, I don't own ties.
Does your husband
You
not
should.
own ties?
Yeah, he does, but I don't know. Just went to sock.
Suck. So, did you guys play anything else? Because we didn't play anything for this week. This is just like the comeback show.
It is. I did pick up Civilization 5.
Ooh,
Tried my hands
did you
with
get
that.
the full Gods
I need
and
to
Kings?
get the new. I need to get the new. I have Gods and Kings. Yeah, I just need to buy the new one. The one that just came out.
So if you ever find yourself with 16 hours with nothing to do, I'll play a game of Civ 5 with you.
All right.
Because that game takes forever.
Yeah.
Oh,
Good to go.
oh, never mind. That's a show for when Kev is on. We were going to play Roller Coaster Tycoon, and he poked the bear by saying that game sucks.
The game was so awesome.
Yeah,
That game was fun. I remember that game.
I feel like we
That's
should...
totally what I cared about when I was goth.
Wait,
I'm totally kidding.
I was going to say, why would a goth care about Roller Coaster Tycoon?
Perfect.
So,
Nope.
would you guys like to do some emails?
Emails.
Oh my God.
I
I
mean,
don't
how
even
old are
wanna
these
look.
emails?
I don't know. Let's see if I can get logged in again.
And before we get into while you're looking at the emails, I would like to give a shout out to some new listeners
Uh-oh.
that we picked up.
Oh, God.
What was it? Rose. Rose is a new listener. Welcome to the show. We finally are making another one. She was happy to.
Where
She
are
kept
you
telling me
getting
you
this
got
from?
This is from fans that I've met. What are you talking about?
F-Box?
F-Box. No, it's people that I used to work with or knew that I said, hey, I'm doing a show. And then like, oh, really? And they check it out. And they're big fans. And they're like, you got to get another one on there. Get back to it.
I'm totally
All right.
afraid to tell people in real life.
Does
about
Rose have a
this.
really deep voice like that?
No, she doesn't. She actually just has a very nice voice.
Yeah, I'm kind of with you, Jess. I don't really
I'm
share
afraid
that.
of all the judgment that I'll get.
Really? I have to say, I host a retro game podcast. I'm like, oh, really? That's really cool.
My mom tells people, and she told someone at work, and then apparently they were going to listen, and I was like, that's really embarrassing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like compared to other retro gaming podcasts, we aren't as retro as like other I think of other shows that I've listened to and they're all like, yeah, super TMNT and Surge.
Well, I tell you, we like we were I know I brought up Nick Stevens earlier too, but that 90s entertainment show that he does, they have a really good format, him and Ryan.
Well, they talk about anything 90s.
They talk about anything 90s, but
I
they do
would
always have a
love that.
video game. They always have a video game. They always have a movie, and they usually have like a TV show that was really big, or music. And so that's a nice format to keep it nice and simple. I haven't listened to it in a while. I guess I've been too busy doing
See,
other
I
stuff.
was in the midst of my middle school days, and I was more concerned about skateboards and chasing girls than I was about paying attention to pop culture. So
I was so into Buffy. Like, it was so embarrassing.
That's right. We were going to have a show about that, weren't we? We were going to do a whole show on Buffy and Smallville.
I
I
know.
will press record and walk away. You guys can have your little Buffy fest. Okay, I got into the email here. We have 3. One from July 29th. So let's read this one. This one's from Grady
So embarrassing.
Grady Trexler. Hey, Factory Seal crew, I really enjoy your show. I am 12-year-old boy, so I don't get much money. Recently, my third-party remake of the NES broke. Originally, I had planned to buy an actual NES, but there are other consoles I would like to collect for, and I am now considering buying the Retron 5, which plays 9 different systems. What are your thoughts on the matter? Should I go ahead and buy a third-party knockoff, or should I stick with an original console? To finish things up, I wanted to ask you to play some games, all for PS2. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi, Time Crisis 3, Star Wars Battlefront 2. I appreciate you reading this email. Keep up the good work. Should he
I think
buy
that looks so cool.
a Retron 5?
Yeah, it looks so fun.
Yeah, those are really cool. I've seen those. Those are really neat. And I say go for it. If you can play all those different games and
I would
have a chance
say
to
if
play
you
it.
could... If you could purchase the systems individually, do that. But if you can't find them, then go to this. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. And you can always pick them up as you went. Like this summer, I picked up that Super Nintendo and 9 games for $30.
Well,
That's
how much is
fantastic.
the Retron?
Looks like $50, I think.
So if you think if he's 12 and has not a huge amount of money, it's probably a better deal to get that than go around trying to find individual consoles.
Or you could find the individual console that you want and start collecting games for that instead of worrying about having to buy games for 5 systems.
True. I'll give you this one.
I don't know. I think if you absolutely cannot come across the other consoles, then buy the Retron 5. I think that's a good suggestion.
And it's a good thing to have because you could have friends bring over games and stuff like that. So it would be a fun, like,
I don't
you
think
can do anything.
I don't think a lot of 12-year-olds today are too concerned about their old NES and Super Nintendo collections. They're probably more concerned about Call of Duty.
You don't know that. This 12-year-old seems really cool.
Yeah, one of the cool ones. He wants us to play Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi. No thanks. Not a Dragon Balls fan.
And that's settled.
I'll play some Dragon Ball for him.
Oh.
I played the shit out of Time Crisis 3. I actually still have some of the old Time Crisis guns. And they don't work anymore. Because apparently they don't work on LED TVs. They have to have the old CRTs.
Yeah.
But my buddy, my roommate and I were so into that at Time Crisis 2. And that game, if you're good, and we were good, we could beat it in 15 minutes flat.
Is that how you totally picked up all the ladies?
Yeah. Come here. Josh, come here. Back me up. We're good at Time Crisis 2. 15 minutes flat. Worked every time. It never worked.
Never worked.
Oh, God.
All right.
Got me a job at GameStop. Star Wars Battlefront 2, never got into that, but I hear it's good. And
I heard those Star Wars Battlefront games are fantastic.
yeah, I just never got around to playing them. There's supposedly a third one that was at like 99% completed, and then they axed it.
Yeah, it sounds right.
Let's see. We've got one from Ian Farfield. This one came in on September 14th, so not too far. Oh
We're
my
totally, like, relevant still to that email.
God, this is a long email.
It's even about us, or is it just one of those like random spam mails where they're like, "Hey"?
No, it's about us. I feel like we said we were going to play Golden Axe Warrior at some point because he's responding to that. Let's.
That's so long ago.
I don't know what he's trying to say. Oh, he wants us to know if we've ever played Golden Axe Warrior. No, I've played the original Golden Axe for the arcade. I don't think there's a question in here. Do you see anything?
I'm not looking.
Oh, I see the word Aladdin, Mortal Kombat, parallax effect. I don't know what's going on. Let's go to the next email.
That's why you screen them.
No way. Wait, David
you know
B.
us?
Sager and Ian Farfield have the same picture. It's the same guy.
That's dedication.
David B. Sager at okay, and that. Oh my goodness. Oh, he's calling us. Oh no, he's not. Okay, he says. Okay, here it goes. In Aladdin for the Genesis, the level called Escape, where you ride the carpet. You don't have to beat that level. Yes, it's difficult, but that's because it's treated like a bonus level. So here you guys are on emulators and keep resetting the level and complaining about how bad putting a level like that in the game is. When all you had to do is play it without cheating. How are we cheating?
That was the one that I completely owned, wasn't it?
And you would have progressed to the next level. How are we cheating? We played the level.
I totally won that. I was awesome.
So
I was a rock star.
I shouldn't have read that email.
Why? I got to brag about my awesome achievement.
We don't have any emails. If you want to send us some, factorysealed@manatank.com. We need stuff to talk about next week. We'll
actually talk.
We are doing this weekly because Aaron has a new job.
We're gonna do it weekly. Is that what we're
Dude,
doing?
we specified that. We had a conversation. We
When
booked
did we have
Wednesdays.
that conversation? When
What
did we
else
have
are you
that
going to do on Wednesday nights, Mr. 7 to 4?
Wednesdays at 8 o'clock Central CST. What is Central? What does
Central
that say?
Standard Time?
Yeah.
All right. So we're going to do every Wednesday at 8 o'clock.
Unless you are dead or dying.
Okay. I'm just making sure.
Psh.
Or if we're going to play a super long game, then we can...
We'll do an update.
Yes. So
right.
what do we want to do next week? Throw it out there, Aaron. Give me something.
What did I pick up? Let's do Earthworm Jim.
Yes.
For the Super Nintendo.
I'm going to play the HD remake of it.
Okay.
Actually, I'm going to play both and compare them. Earthworm Jim. I might even try to play the Genesis one if I can find my Genesis power cord.
I'm going to do Super Nintendo. On a Super Nintendo. With a Super Nintendo controller.
You know, I feel like we should really get back into doing the segments of Mother 3. Like going through that bit by bit, because that game
I'm still so upset that I don't know what happened.
That game was super good. I feel like that's one of those where you could just play a little bit of it.
That
before
could
you
be
go
a
to bed.
bi-weekly thing.
Yeah. We could do a chapter every other week.
Yeah.
Let's do it. So, I may have to restart, though.
I'm going to have to start from the beginning.
Okay. Let's do that, too. Let's play through the first chapter of Mother 3 again and talk about that.
I got a little teary-eyed, though, I think.
Yeah, when What's-His-Face had that thing happen to him with What's-Her-Nuts.
Spoilers.
All right. I think that's going to do it for our super awesome comeback show. If you have any suggestions, send us tweets. Where can we find you on the T-Box?
Oh, God.
Aaron.
Why are we doing this?
The Twit Box.
The Twitter, you can find me at Quilted Tunic. And Radioactive Moth, it's not all my fault.
What are you talking about? Where is this coming from?
At Radioactive Moth, it is not all of Quilted Tunic's fault. Okay, Jess? All right?
What are you talking about?
I'm talking about Twitbox.
I know, but where...
She just tweeted. Man.
I
just tweeted that it was all my fault, some fan out there. And listen to her laugh. She knows what she did. Shame on you.
She put... Oh, I see.
Isn't her giggle back there?
Oh, Jess, where can we find you?
I can't even talk. Jess M. Clarkson.
And if you want to follow me at Honest Pizza, that's going to do it. We're going to be back next Wednesday. For sure. With more games. Final thoughts?
No.
Listen to her. No. Well, it's going to be back, so I can't wait to get back
Jess,
in here. Hopefully our fans have not abandoned us.
Your pants haven't abandoned you?
No, I'm still wearing them. But I said hopefully our fans have not abandoned us and will continue to listen to our show.
And hopefully Jess gets her goth pictures up on F-Box.
Yeah, I totally will.
Get it up on the F-Box.
That's my, instead of doing more work tonight, I'll actually find pictures.
And
Procrastination at its finest.
All right, we'll see you all next week.
All right. Bye.
Thank you.